Life is very strange. It has existed for billions of years, and we, in our average 60, 70, or 80 years of life, try to understand its meaning. Those who lived before us also tried. They searched, relied on science and religion, and wrote countless books. Yet they couldn't convey the meaning of life to everyone in the same way. That is, one person might have seen the meaning of life in living healthily, finding inner peace, and helping others, while another tried to find it in wealth, ruling over people, or gaining influence. For some, the meaning of life is hidden in simple pleasures. For example, a beautiful morning, a cup of tea or coffee with family members or friends. For others, it is a moment in the tranquility of nature or a journey. In other words, everyone's path is different. But interestingly, all these paths lead toward one goal: understanding oneself and the world around us. Therefore, when searching for the meaning of life, it is not enough to rely solely on the guidance of others. We must reflect on our own experiences, observations, mistakes, and successes. Perhaps the meaning of life is measured not by a formula, but by a process: living, understanding, gaining experience, and growing a little more each day. But the question that arises is this: if the meaning of life is not the same for everyone, then what is it for us? The Earth has existed for 4 billion years. Then humans appeared. After a long period, these humans learned to live independently. They built homes and became capable of obtaining their own food. Then they spread across the Earth, dividing into large groups. After that, these humans, distinguished from other living beings by their consciousness, began to compete with each other and built empires. Yet the Earth offers the most unique conditions for the comfort of all people. Here, the air is neither too cold nor too hot, changing only with the seasons. The Earth has perfect gravity, keeping everything in balance. There is oxygen to breathe and millions of sources of water to drink. But as our consciousness developed, we began to compete with each other even more. Think about how many humans have died in wars since the world began, by human hands. And this terrible process continues even now. Can you tell me if the world has ever experienced a period without war? The answer is difficult. What is even harder is that as societies develop and people's living standards rise, their ambitions grow as well. One must strive for more of everything. The human who once hunted in the forest, in the wild, or on the mountains now uses artificial intelligence, travels to space as a tourist, and calculates the mathematical processes occurring in galaxies. Yes, all these processes occur within a certain time frame. We call this time. We have defined time precisely: second, minute, hour, year. But in reality, this is not truly essential. We created it only for ourselves. Time is simply a method to measure the passage of events. But these units of time have been determined solely for our convenience. 1 day equals 1 rotation of the Earth. 1 month is approximately the time it takes for the Moon to orbit the Earth and rotate once on its axis. 1 year equals 1 orbit of the Earth around the Sun. In this journey called life, the Earth completes approximately 78 orbits around the Sun. As poetic as that may sound, after a human life has passed, these numbers lose much of their significance. Of course, we can imagine a time span of 1,000 years, or even 10,000 years. But beyond that, the scale of events becomes simply too vast for our minds to comprehend. Even if we consider that we understand the universe's 13.8 billion year existence, it is impossible to place it within a scale we can truly grasp. On the scale of a human life, the universe is incredibly old. Yet, from the perspective of the universe's lifespan, almost nothing has happened. It has barely begun. Through scientific development, we can calculate the future. We can predict that millions of years from now, the sun will burn out, the oceans will evaporate, and the Earth will become uninhabitable. We can even estimate the moment when our galaxy will collide with another galaxy. We measure the rate of the universe's expansion and explain the behavior of matter and energy through mathematical formulas. Yet, despite all this knowledge, we cannot comprehend the beginning itself, the moment of existence. How did a being arise from nothingness? Why is there something rather than nothing? Science revolves around this question, and philosophy tries to make sense of it. But for now, the answers are merely hypotheses. As far as we know, we are the only beings in the universe capable of conscious thought. Yet the paradox is that we do not fully understand the nature of consciousness itself. What does it mean to think? How does the sense of I exist arise? The more we try to understand the universe, the more deeply we perceive our own smallness. Perhaps consciousness is like a kind of light, trying to feel its existence in the infinite void, a spark searching for its origin. As we observe the universe observes itself through us. This suggests that perhaps the universe was not created for us, but we are its way of perceiving itself. You most likely opened your eyes to life in a delivery room, surrounded by bright lights and the sounds of doctors. And if that wasn't the case, if you entered life under different circumstances, that only makes your story even more unique. In your first days, it seemed as if you were the center of the entire world. Everything revolved around your breath, your laughter. But soon enough, life shows you that in the grand plan of the universe, you are not alone. Every day, hundreds of thousands of people breathe, open their eyes, and step onto their own path of life, just like you. Some of those born will become the geniuses of the future, while others will simply live and pass on. In a place where existence is so vast, standing out is not easy. Yet that is the beauty of life itself. We are all like drops of water, but when those drops unite, they form an ocean. The Earth is a small drop within that ocean. It is just one of the 8 planets in the solar system. And this system itself is like an invisible speck of dust in the infinity of the universe. On this speck of dust, we experience a rare phenomenon called life. Science has so far discovered thousands of distant planets. Some of them resemble Earth, having similar size and temperature conditions, yet we still have not found any trace of life there. Perhaps life requires such a delicate, such a random balance that it has only arisen here, on this blue dot. Our solar system is located within a galaxy, perhaps an ordinary point among billions of other stars, and this galaxy is not alone. In the system we call the local group, there are dozens of other galaxies. Each of them hides billions of stars and countless planets that might carry traces of life. But within all this vastness, here we are, beings capable of thought, of questioning, of striving to understand. Perhaps the greatest mystery of the universe is this: in this infinite void, a spark becomes aware of its own existence. One of these galaxies is Andromeda, a silent, distant, yet massive spiral moving toward us. In about 4.5 billion years, it will merge with our Milky Way galaxy. By that time, neither you nor I, nor this blue planet will exist. Whether even our memories remain is unknown. During this encounter, the sun will reach the final stage of its life. It will gradually expand, becoming a red giant, and eventually engulf the Earth in flames. At that moment, the sun will be thousands of times brighter than it is today, but neither the seas, nor the land, nor life will survive its brilliance. Our planet, this small world that once breathed life, will become nothing more than a memory. And while all this happens, the universe itself will remain unchanged. Galaxies will collide, stars will be born and die, yet the universe as a whole will be unaware. Our catastrophe will be nothing more than the next natural event to it. On the scale of time, billions of years are like the blink of an eye. Yet in these brief moments, events shape the future fate of the universe. We know that the universe is expanding, but what is fascinating is that this expansion does not happen gradually. It accelerates. As if an invisible force, science calls it dark energy, is pushing everything even farther away. We can observe this strange behavior of the universe, but its cause remains hidden behind a veil of mystery. It is as if the universe is moving away from itself, as if existence is trying to escape its own shadow. This expansion does not stop, and perhaps this very motion is the nature of infinity. There is neither complete stillness nor complete motion. Everything is constantly changing, yet nothing is fully explained. Science calls this phenomenon dark energy, a force as mysterious as its name suggests. It stretches the very fabric of space and time, slowly opening the universe from within. We do not understand its essence, but we can feel its presence. Its traces are visible in the motion of stars and in the way galaxies move away from each other. According to current calculations, this force will grow stronger over time. A day will come when the distances between galaxies become so vast that the light they emit will no longer reach us. Even though light is the fastest thing in the universe, the expansion of space itself will outpace it. The stars we once saw in the sky will gradually fade. Galaxies will disappear from view. And when we look around, we will see nothing but endless darkness. Each star system will be left to its own fate, each civilization confined within its own universe. And in the end, our galaxy too, along with all its stars, will sink into silent darkness. At that moment, there will be no light, no heat, and no trace of life. The universe will move toward an end resembling the stillness of its beginning. But perhaps this end is merely the shadow of a new beginning. The fate of the sun is the same for all stars in the universe. Eventually, trillions of years from now, the lights in the sky will begin to fade one by one. With no new stars forming, the universe will grow slightly colder. Dying stars will turn into white dwarf stars or neutron stars, depending on their size, providing the last lights in the cold and dark universe. This will be the final hope for any remaining life forms in the universe. But eventually, trillions of years after the last stars, like our sun, have died, even these white dwarfs will begin to fade. Some wandering neutron stars in the universe may collide by chance, producing the brightest events known in the cosmos. The final breath of stars is called a supernova. These enormous explosions flood the universe with light for a brief moment, but then everything returns to darkness. All matter in the galaxies slowly begins to flow toward the gravity of black holes. The universe, once born from the hottest state, now moves toward the coldest end, a transition from skies full of light and life to an infinity filled with silence and emptiness. For a time, everything will be under the dominion of black holes. Stars, planets, and life will be replaced by a singular dark gravity. Time will no longer be measured in millions of years, but in quadrillions. Yet even this will not last forever. Through a process called Hawking radiation, Black holes will gradually evaporate, particle by particle, silently disappearing. And in the end, nothing will remain in the universe. No light, no matter, not even time itself. A void where even silence holds no meaning. But this void will not stop. The dark energy will continue to stretch space. Within all this infinity, we are only a tiny speck of dust. And perhaps this is the greatest mystery of the universe. Even within nothingness, everything still moves. Perhaps we are merely an accident. Maybe we were never meant to last until the end. And yet, we still have a role to play today. We are a single species, on a single planet, in a single galaxy, an almost indistinguishable part of the universe. Even if we didn't exist, not much would be different. Each day, we matter a little less, and eventually, we come to understand that in the grand scheme of things, we truly have no importance. Our galaxy could simply vanish, and it wouldn't make much of a difference. We came to exist in such a strange moment in time, yet it is also an incredibly unique one. We know that we are only the beginning, just a small point in the universe's potential, but the only way to realize that potential is to start moving forward today. We can say with certainty that there will never be others quite like us. The accidental leaps of intellectual life may continue for trillions of years, yet we live in the most favorable stage of life, a rare period when consciousness is aware of itself. You are born only once, and in this brief existence, you have the freedom of choice. You cannot escape school or taxes, but everything else is within your will. If we cannot find the meaning of the universe, then our purpose is to create our own meaning. Some spend their days playing games, while others develop technologies that will take humanity to the stars. Both paths are valid, because each person's purpose is their own choice. Good or bad periods in life do not last forever. It is impossible to know what the future will bring, but even a single coincidence can change everything. Each of us plays the cards we are dealt. And the matter is not what those cards are, but how far we can go with them. Perhaps the human mind will never fully understand why everything in the universe behaves the way it does. Maybe there is life elsewhere, or maybe we are the only voice in this infinite silence. Every answer we find gives birth to new questions, as if the universe itself compels us to keep thinking. But maybe that's the point, to keep trying to understand. Within this miraculous coincidence, we can do so much: to love, to learn, to create, to share, to leave our mark in this brief moment we are given. And perhaps the true meaning of life lies exactly here: to feel the value of the moment you exist in, no matter what happens. Because in the end, all stars will fade, galaxies will disappear, and even time itself will lose its meaning. But right now, you're here, watching this video, breathing, thinking, feeling, and your very existence in this moment is the most beautiful sound that can be heard in the silence of the universe.